You're sitting at the kitchen table. The overhead light hums. Your laptop is open to the same checking account you opened when you were 23. The interest rate is 0.01%. You know this. You've known this for 8 years. The screen glows the same pale blue it has glowed every Sunday night for nearly a decade. You scroll. You sigh. You close the tab. You will do nothing. This is not laziness. Your nervous system has made a calculation, silent and constant, that the energy required to change your bank, your insurance, your subscriptions, your job, your apartment, your retirement contribution, that energy is greater than the pain of staying exactly where you are. Researchers in behavioral economics have a name for this calculation. They call it status quo bias. Samuelson and Zeckhauser introduced the term in 1988, after running experiments where people, given identical options, would overwhelmingly choose whichever option they were told they already had. You already have this bank. You already have this car insurance you've never compared. You already have the $4.99 streaming service you don't use. The brain treats already as proof of correctness. It is not. You stand up. The chair scrapes. You walk to the kitchen and pour the same coffee from the same machine into the same mug. Tomorrow is Monday. Tomorrow you will not call the bank. You will not compare rates. You will do what you did last Monday, and the Monday before that. You will stay. Level 1 complete. But here's where most people stay. You're at a dinner. Someone, a friend you used to envy quietly, mentions, casually, that she switched her savings account last spring and is now earning 40 times what you are. 40 times. She says it the way someone might say they changed dish soap. You laugh. You ask the right questions. You do not eat the rest of your pasta. Driving home, the steering wheel feels different in your hands. You can hear your own breathing. For the first time in a long time, you are not annoyed at traffic, you are calculating. You add it up. The bank you've never changed. The 401k contribution you've never raised. The grocery delivery subscription from a free trial you took during a stressful week in 2022. You start to see a shape in your life, and the shape is shaped exactly like inaction. What you are experiencing is the first crack in what behavioral scientists call the default effect. Thaler and Sunstein, in their work on choice architecture, observed that humans treat the preselected option as a recommendation, even when no one is actually recommending it. The form you signed had a box pre-checked. You never unchecked it. 5 years of $7.99 a month. You park. You sit in the dark of the garage. The engine ticks. You open the calculator app. You do not put the phone down for 40 minutes. Tonight you do not switch the bank. But something has moved, and you can feel it, the way you feel a draft from a window you didn't know was open. Level 2 complete. But here's where most people stay. You decide to fix it. You make a list. The list has 17 items. You title the document Financial Overhaul in capital letters because capital letters feel like commitment. By Wednesday the document has not been opened since Sunday. You are not weak. You are exhausted. Each item on the list is a small fortress, 10-minute phone trees, password resets you never wrote down, 2-factor code sent to an old email, an "Are you sure you want to cancel" page that costs you another 3 minutes of will. You start one. You finish none. You close the laptop and you feel, distinctly, a flush of shame that is also somehow relief. This is the trap. Trying to use willpower to override the status quo is, in the language of cognitive psychology, fighting your prefrontal cortex against your basal ganglia, your deliberate, effortful planning system against the silent, automatic system that runs your defaults. Research in this area suggests that willpower behaves like a depleting resource over the course of a day. By 7 p.m., the prefrontal cortex is tired. The defaults are not. You promise yourself you'll handle it on the weekend. The weekend comes. You handle the laundry. You handle the groceries. You do not handle the 17 items. By Sunday night you are back at the kitchen table. Same coffee. Same screen. Same 0.01%. The pattern has a perfect, terrible symmetry. You are running on rails you did not lay. And the more you try to push against them with effort alone, the more obvious it becomes that effort is not the variable that matters. Level 3 complete. But here's where most people stay. You stumble onto a paper. Maybe it's a podcast. Maybe a clip in a search result you weren't looking for. The phrase is status quo bias. You read it twice. You read the original Samuelson and Zeckhauser study from 1988, the one where they describe how subjects, asked to allocate an inheritance, would systematically prefer whichever investment they were told they already owned. The room is very quiet. For the first time, you understand that you are not lazy and you are not stupid. You are operating a brain that was tuned, over evolutionary time, in environments where change was usually dangerous and what worked yesterday was the highest quality information available. In a world of scarcity, the default was protective. In a world of compounding interest, the default is corrosive. Kahneman, in the work that earned the Nobel in 2002, described how the brain treats potential losses as roughly twice as painful as equivalent gains. Switching banks does not feel like gaining a higher rate. It feels like losing the bank you know. Even when the bank you know is doing nothing for you. You sit back. The ceiling fan turns. You can hear it. Something shifts that is not yet behavior. It is closer to permission. The shame loosens by one notch. You realize that the problem is not your character. The problem is architectural, the architecture of your defaults, the architecture of your day, the architecture of every system that decides on your behalf when you are tired. You do not fix anything tonight. But you finally see the building you have been living in. Level 4 complete. But here's where most people stay. You don't make a list this time. You pick one thing. The savings account. You do it on a Tuesday morning, before email, before the news, before any of the small daily defaults can take their toll. The transfer takes 11 minutes. You set up automatic deposits, not because the amount is large, but because you understand now that the goal is not effort. The goal is to make the new behavior the default. Thaler and Sunstein's choice architecture, applied to a single decision in your own life. The amount is small. $200 a month. You feel, briefly, the loss aversion Kahneman described, a tug in your chest at the thought of money leaving your checking. You let the feeling pass. You close the laptop. You go to work. 3 weeks later, you check, and the money is there. You did not move it. You did not decide each week to save. The system decided for you. This is the inversion. Instead of fighting your defaults, you have begun designing them. That night, you try one more thing. You cancel a single subscription. The $7.99 from 2022. The cancellation flow asks you 4 questions. You answer all 4. You do not feel virtuous. You feel something quieter, the small, almost imperceptible click of a rail being moved. You sleep better than you have in months. Not because of the money. Because, for the first time, the shape of your life is changing in the direction you choose, and the change does not require you to be a different person. Level 5 complete. But here's where most people stay. The market drops. You don't know why. Something in the news, something overseas. Your retirement account, the one you finally set up auto contributions on, shows red across every column. Negative $4,000 in 3 days. Your hand moves toward the phone before your mind catches up. The old pattern, sell, retreat, freeze, do nothing forever, wakes up with surprising strength. You feel it in your jaw. You feel it in the way your breath catches at the top of your chest. This is what Kahneman called loss aversion in its full, uncut form, the felt sense that losing what you have is worse than the absence of what you might gain. You almost transfer the balance back to checking. Almost. But you remember, somewhere behind the panic, that the system was designed for exactly this moment. The auto-contribution was set up in calm. Selling now would be a decision made in fear. Your defaults were chosen by your prefrontal cortex on a quiet Tuesday morning. Your panic is being generated by your amygdala on a Thursday afternoon. You put the phone face down. You walk outside. The air is cold. You count slowly to 60. When you come back, the screen is the same. The numbers are the same. You do not log in. You do not sell. You go make dinner. This is the test most people fail. Not because they are foolish, because the architecture they built was not strong enough to outlast a single bad week. Yours held. Level 6 complete. But here's where most people stay. 6 months in, you no longer think about most of it. The savings account fills itself. The retirement contributions arrive. The subscriptions you cancelled stay cancelled. The bank rate you switched to is now just the rate. You have stopped congratulating yourself for any of it, which is the surest sign that the new defaults have taken hold. You start to notice other defaults. The route you drive home, there's a faster one, but you've taken this one for years. The grocery store. The brand of coffee. The first app you open in the morning. You do not change all of them. You change the ones that matter. Neuroscience research on habit formation suggests that repeated behaviors migrate from the prefrontal cortex, effortful, deliberate, exhausting, to the basal ganglia, where they run almost without energy. What was once a fight has become a hum. The same circuitry that kept you in the 0.01% account for 8 years is now keeping you in the 4.5% account. The mechanism has not changed. The architecture has. You sit down on a Sunday night. Same kitchen table. Same overhead light. You open the laptop. The numbers are different. The trajectory is different. The week ahead requires almost no financial willpower at all. This is the part nobody tells you. The wealthy mind is not constantly deciding. The wealthy mind has already decided, months and years ago, and now spends its bandwidth on harder problems, work, relationships, ideas. The defaults do the financial work in the background. You close the laptop earlier than you used to. Level 7 complete. But here's where most people stay. You no longer have a financial life in the sense you used to mean those words. You have a system, and the system has a financial life on your behalf. The income comes in. The defaults routed. The savings, the investments, the tax-advantaged accounts, the giving, all of it moves before you can even register that it has moved. You are not deciding. You designed once, and the design decides daily. This is the peak Thaler and Sunstein gestured toward when they wrote about choice architecture, a life in which the path of least resistance has been engineered to align with your long-term interest. Your defaults pull you toward your goals the way your old defaults pulled you toward stagnation. The mechanism is identical. The direction is reversed. You catch yourself, sometimes, thinking about the person you were at the kitchen table, in the pale blue light, in the 0.01% account, with the 17-item list. That person was not broken. That person was running on architecture they did not design. You did not out-discipline that person. You out-designed them. When friends ask how you did it, you struggle to answer well. The truth sounds anticlimactic. You did not become a different person. You changed perhaps 8 defaults across 2 years. The compounding did the rest. The wealthy mind, you understand now, is not a different kind of brain. It is the same brain, your brain, pointed at a different set of rails. And the rails, unlike willpower, do not get tired. You open the laptop. The screen glows. You barely look at it.
Take a breath. What you just learned has weight. Your brain treats doing nothing as safer than choosing, and that quiet preference has been making decisions on your behalf for years. Let that land. Feel where your body is touching the chair, the slow rise of your chest, the small pause between inhale and exhale. This is the same nervous system that picks defaults. It is not broken. It is just old. Now picture a version of you, 6 months from now, who notices the default before accepting it. Calm. Unhurried. Opening one account, changing one contribution, closing one tab. Nothing dramatic. Just awareness arriving one beat earlier than before. Carry that image gently. When you are ready, return to the video, and let what you learned keep settling underneath the noise.